Trade during these hours and you will have the best possible entries. In this video, I will explain to you what kind of times are the best to look for entries in my experience, what's been working well for me, and now you can actually use that in your own calendar. Because to be honest, we don't want to be behind the charts all day, right? So we don't want to look for trades all day, be stressed about it and waiting for signals, whatever. In my experience, the best thing is to just wait for a specific hour and look within that specific hour for possible entries, because then you can easily plan it in your calendar and you don't have to wait the whole day for your entry to be created or waiting for this specific setup, for example. So I will show you 2 specific hours during the day, and I found out that the best possible entries are formed between these 2 hours. So before I can show you which hours I'm talking about, first you need to set your TradingView time zone to New York. So you can do that below here on the right. So you can set it to the New York time zone, UTC -4, because this is what most traders are looking at. So we'll be using the New York time. So I've actually learned about these specific time sessions from ICT. Most of you probably know ICT. I use some of his strategies myself. And one of the things that I've learned from him is trading based on the time. So based on the time during the day. And then we'll show you which kind of times I'm talking about. Because I've noticed, like he also says, that the best possible entries, and there's a lot of volume during those hours. The first hour, and again we're talking about the New York time, is 3 a.m. So you can draw in using the vertical lines here. You can draw in the hours that you can find your trades. So let's go to the 5 minutes. Because I myself am mostly looking for trades on the 5 minutes or the 50 minutes. So let's say we are here on Monday. Well, then you can see that this is 3 a.m. So this is when the session starts. And it's 1 hour. So it's 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. So you can draw in this time session, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. in the New York time. And this is where a lot of entries are created with high probabilities. So another way you can easily do this, I've found out, is using an indicator. There are multiple indicators for this. So if you fill in like sessions, for example, you have multiple indicators, and then you can set your own specific sessions in those indicators. So I use this one. I don't know what the name of it is anymore. You might be able to find it, but here I was able to fill in my own time sessions. So the London session and the New York session, which we will be talking about later in this video. So this is the London session, 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. I use this indicator for it, which makes it much more convenient. And you can look for entries during those hours. So for example, as some of you know from my videos, I'm mainly looking for imbalances. And an imbalance, or fair value gap as some people would call it, is a space between the first and third candle. So here you see an imbalance being created. It's a gap between the candles, which turn out into a really good short trade. And what's interesting is you can find entries anywhere, but I've noticed that when I trade during these hours, I find entries with the most probability. And I also found out that there's a lot of volume during these hours. So ICT is right. These are very active times. So it's great to look in these times for your entries, because then you also limit yourself to only trading for 1 or 2 hours a day. So another example is this trade, which I actually placed. I placed this trade. So I often just place my entry here, the most defensive place in the imbalance, at the top of this supply zone, as I would say. So I believe I had something like this. I don't know my target anymore, but I believe it was 2.5 risk reward. And as you can see, it was a perfect trade. So this happens very often during the 3 a.m. session. And there's another session that you can use, because it might not be convenient for you if you live in the US, for example. You don't want to trade during 3 a.m., right? So I have another time for you. And by the way, if you don't know me yet, my name is Alan. I've been trading for multiple years, and I have this YouTube channel because I'm not selling a course. So I'm just telling you exactly what I know. You can use it, you cannot use it. You can try it out for yourself. And my goal is to help other traders be more profitable and more consistently profitable. And if you struggle to get consistently profitable, watch the end of the video because I'll be explaining how I can help you with that. So the other time is 10 a.m. So we have 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. and then we have 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So this might be a more convenient time depending on where you live. I really like the London session because I live in Europe. The other time is 10 a.m. and it's the exact same story. So you can put it into your indicator or you can draw them in yourself. And like the example I already showed you, which was actually in this time zone, you will find a lot of good trades. So there were actually 2 trades here. So you had this one, first of all, but you also had this imbalance being created, which turned into a new trade as well. So here, for example, there was no trade here that I saw. This was actually also a possible long trade. I think it was way too aggressive because then you would have placed your entry here. But it's about the idea that you're just trading in 1 or 2 hours a day. And these are also the times where most of the entries are being created. And the interesting thing as well is that most of the times when the London session is going up, for example, so you're placing a long on the London session, you might see the completely opposite thing in the New York session at 10 a.m. that is going down, for example. So what you saw here is that at the London session, price was going down. So you could have been in a short trade. But here in the New York session, price was going up. And this is what you very often see. So you might go long in the 3 a.m. session and then short in the 10 a.m. session, for example. And that's really interesting. Same thing here. You could have placed a short here, went down at the London session, and then at the New York session, you were actually going up. So my advice is try it out for yourself. You don't have to believe any of this. Try it out for yourself and see if it works for you. Put it in your calendar so that you have 1 or 2 hours specifically dedicated to finding entries during your day. And it just makes trading much more easy because you know exactly when you need to be trading, when you need to be behind your charts, and when you can take some time off. So before we end the video, if you struggle to get consistently profitable, like I said in the beginning of the video, you can send me a DM on Instagram at @AlanTheTrader because I can help you to become profitable. I'm not selling a course, I'm helping people one-on-one, and I can also help you. So if you're interested, you want to know more about it, then send me a DM on Instagram at @AlanTheTrader. Thanks for watching this video and I will see you next time.